They listened and they finally quit doing that one thing that everybody seemed to hate. Hey everybody, Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV here, actually down at Coachmen today. You can obviously see we're right in front of their production facility, taking a look at some awesome new updates on this is the replacement and new version of the previous 191 RBS. All they really did was slide the entry door back behind the kitchen so that you don't open the door and walk in directly on top of the bed anymore. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people comment, I don't like walking in, like feeling like somebody could walk in and be right on top of me in my bed. It's just a personal comfort thing. So here for the 25 season, you've still got the double Asdel inside and outside layer. Apex Nano was doing 7.5 foot wide way before it was cool, and with their all aluminum skeletal construction and composite walls, they have been able to keep the weight of these pretty nicely in check, where if you got like a tow package mid-size pickup or a bigger tow package SUV, this could work very nicely for you. You don't necessarily need to go, full-on half-ton pickup or something like that on one of these. We have 200 watts of factory standard solar. There's like optional tire and tank heater packages. They also did a thing here that I think is probably a stronger overall final result. They didn't incorporate a camp kitchen. It still has an outside griddle included with it that you can see, but instead, in the bathroom, they just gave it massive storage space. And with their little mini barreled ceiling, plus the skylight, my head will be in the skylight in the shower, but I can actually stand on the thing, or in the thing. It's got a couple things that you probably won't love, but for a small, lightweight, aluminum frame, non-stick and tin camper, I think that this is a step in the right direction. But it's new, and I'd love to hear what you think about it, good, bad, ugly, and in between. And if you like the candid approach we give you, hit that subscribe button. Let's go. And again, to me, it's really crazy how just essentially moving the position of the entry door has completely changed the way that I look at this model, you know? And if you look at this floor plan, it's a very common, very popular floor plan. Most RV manufacturers build it with a sofa in the slide. Nano here, Apex, they decided to go with a dinette in the slide, you know? Not everybody is looking for that sofa experience. There are still some people who, want a place to sit down, to play cards, to have that, fold down guest sleeper, the extra storage that goes with it. So they decided to go with dinette. Is there an optional sofa? No. But again, if you kind of like this layout, but you want a sofa there instead, we have plenty of options for you at Bish's RV. I want to point out a couple things that Apex does, I think, very well, though. Pay attention to the window coverage on this. This is a small camper with a barreled ceiling, a light color palette, and massive windows in a 7.5 foot wide body. And as a result, it makes this thing look and feel, I think, reasonably spacious. I think it is very nice in here. They also got away from the traditional, RV stereo system, and they went with the, removable, rechargeable Bluetooth. Well, of course it's rechargeable, but the Bluetooth speaker system. Yeah, it's a one-time use Bluetooth speaker. It's not rechargeable. I'm an idiot. Pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry is also a nice find. And Apex is very good about clean fit and finish. One of the things that I've really learned and observed in the RV industry, when manufacturers use a barreled ceiling, if they're not really up to snuff on building stuff right, it often looks kind of rough and chintzy, and this doesn't have that kind of look and feel to me at all, Now, there's different types of thermal foil counters out there. Coachmen is the original users of them, and they're still one of the few that actually have a fully sealed thermal foil system. Now, you don't want to put a boiling hot pan on top of it, but you gotta have a little bit of common sense factor involved in there. They also got rid of the carpeted side stands. They finally fully paneled those out, so you don't have that musty carpet smell right up next to your bed. And in case you're curious, you do have you can kind of see it peeking through there, some household outlets on either side of the bed. Not a ton of USB plugs in here. I will mention that. Now, if you are stuck inside on a rainy day and you're looking for TV entertainment, it wasn't that long ago, Nano actually, they did not include TV hookups. And you can see up there in that corner, they have re-implemented TV hookups. I think most people are not going to use those. But hey, if you have the need on a rainy day to get through, that'll take care of you. The bigger vent fan here in the living room also is an awesome way to get some fresh airflow going through all those the big window spaces there. And with the mirrored fronts on those wardrobe cabinets, I think it just opens the space up. I also really like what they did here with this cabinet. I'll give you a look at this again in just a minute. But it's the RV doesn't have a big traditional pantry, but we're in a small camper, and you're going to see that you have absolutely insane storage in the bathroom. So your everyday use stuff, cups, glasses, things like that, I could see that stuff going up there. Where are the kitchen outlets? That's something I like to look for. Okay, so we have outlet over there, and that's the only one that I can see for now. I'll try to take another peek back at the other side of the RV when I get there. This is a propane furnace down there below the microwave, and I do want to point out that's not like convection or anything like that. Apex exists and thrives in what I call the smarter class kind of thing. They are not the ultimate everything RV for everybody. They really focus on the big hitter features, and they keep their weight in check, and as a result, they also keep their pricing in check compared to a lot of small laminated single axle campers out there nowadays. They have reasonable holding tank capacities. Nothing on an Apex is ever over the top, but that also means that includes the price and the weight. I would love it if people who actually have owned Apex RVs over the years chimed in the comment section. Like, what's your experience been? Because what I see is when people have, like, a lot of people never go out of their way thinking, oh, I definitely want that Apex. But when people have them, they're like, I didn't expect to keep this for as long as I did, and I really liked it. Like, they're a brand that people really seem to enjoy owning. Like, Surveyor has kind of a similar thing going on. This, by the way, is an 8 cubic foot, 12-volt DC compressor fridge. And let's go ahead and get that open for you so you can see the storage that you have in this RV. That includes, again, of course, the dinette slide, which is a little bit of a step-up slide because the slide exists above the wheel well. Unfortunately, this is not floor flush capable. You literally couldn't put a rack and pinion slide on this if you wanted. And with this being 7.5 foot wide, instead of a 54-inch wide full-size bed, they were able to go with a 60-inch wide bed, which is residential standard, albeit a 74-inch short queen. And when you close the slide up, you're going to see that you'll kind of lack the space to go with anything longer. So the workaround on a mattress like this is if you want the longer bed when you get to your destination, get yourself like a 6-inch spacer block or stuff a couple extra pillows or something up in the headboard area to shove the foot of the mattress down. There's also things like rvmattress.com, I think is one, that has all sorts of RV bed sizes. So if you're not a big fan of the backbreaker death wafer, you're looking for a dedicated cover or mattress topper. Jesus, there's smoke coming out of my ears now. My brain went like Windows.exe has failed over here. All right, anyway, there's bed options. Now this bathroom has a couple things I like and a couple things that are like, oh crap. Surveyor did something similar in a small RV. If you look at this, the elbow space on the right hand side is a little tight. Now I can make it work because I can kind of lean over toward the sink and I can cheat that a little bit, but it's that way because they went over the top with just massive storage here. So cracking that open and giving you a peek at that, that's some dedicated serious space. It's like the size, actually that's bigger than the refrigerator. And they put maximum door coverage on it to keep everything enclosed in transit. But I got a question. 2 questions, actually. Question 1, what if this whole cabinetry was just pushed back 2 or 3 inches? You'd give up a little bit of storage, but gain some space on the toilet. Would you like a little more space around the toilet or keep maximum storage? Question number 2, does that compartment, do they need doors? Or would those be okay open face? For things like toilet paper and whatnot, because you have this huge space of storage. That being said, I don't ever get disappointed by fully enclosed storage. Also, look at the thickness of their interior wall structures. They build a little bit thicker on these. A lot of brands do this, and it makes people scratch their heads. They'll put the bigger fan in the kitchen living room. They have the more conventional fan here in the bathroom, which I suppose is okay, but I think people generally prefer the big fan whenever they can, albeit it's extra dollars. Now, because, the RV is only 6.5 foot tall, I'm a little over 6 foot myself. You step up into the shower pan, but because of the barreled ceiling and the skylight, I found myself able to stand in there. Now, to be fair, my head was all the way up in the skylight, but I could do it. I also like the fact that they include a dedicated sink in here. You know, to each their own, though. Some people, they absolutely don't care for it. I don't know. Is there someone who would rather keep all the storage and get rid of the sink to give you more space around the toilet? I suspect that's a smaller segment of people, but hey, you know, there we go. That's a question. Travel and road mode access on this one is also pretty darn great. You can totally get up to your bed here, but again, because of the interaction that it has with the slide out, if you tried to go with a longer mattress, they would start fighting with one another. So that's why you have to kind of come up with a little, you know, workaround solution that I mentioned before. This is a Schwintek slide system, by the way, which to my knowledge is not really intended to be sat in and upon while the slide is retracted. So kind of keep that in mind. If little details like that are handy, because I want you to keep your RV in your possession and not have to bring it back to a shop, hit that subscribe button or like the video or whatever, or don't. I can't tell you what to do, you know, okay. But your kitchen's readily accessible, your bathroom, your refrigerator, those are readily accessible. So your main big three, you know, camp critical travel features, they're available. The towability factors on the Apex Nano series is also pretty great. If you notice, it's less than a 4,900 pound GVW, gross vehicle weight with maximum cargo, and at least here in its base format, it still has about 1,200 pounds of available cargo carry capacity. The one I'm actually physically looking at has 1,222 pounds of available cargo. That's not terrible. On a little trailer like this, that's absolutely not terrible. Now, it's important to remember, this is not intended to be the ultimate boondock off-grid warrior. Like, you can do things, like by default, we have the, generic import tires. But one of the options that you have available, oh, look at this, I got an example of it right here. You have the ability to option on Goodyear Wranglers. One of the nice parts about that is a higher sidewall integrity. The tire also is a little bit taller. So if you want to gain some extra ground clearance, that's a good way to do it. And I know that our friends camping out west, that's a very important, handy feature to use. Speaking of that, when you are camping away from the parks, you know, like I'm a pavement princess, I camp in parks. You can see just peeking up over the roof line, there is a 200-watt solar panel up there. That's factory standard. It has a 30-amp controller. So if you wanted to daisy chain and expand on that a little bit, you could. If you wanted to go much beyond about 400 watts, though, you're probably looking at a more invasive kind of DIY system, but we can help you with all that. In case you're not familiar with what you're looking at, this is a Schwintek slide system, kind of like we mentioned on the inside of the RV. And they give us a very nice big pass-through here. Wide, easy access doors on both sides. Now, if you look at the ceiling of that compartment, you can see that it's wood structured. And a lot of people will go, wait a minute, you said this is an all-aluminum structure. The skeletal structure of the RV is. The furniture is not necessarily always going to be aluminum framed on one of these. The space under the bed isn't like structural and critical to the RV. What do you think of the new graphics package, by the way? I pulled up and I did a little bit of a double take. I think that it looks pretty sharp, and I didn't think Apexes looked bad before. I do personally like how they're making it a little easier to understand that's a Coachmen camper with old Pete the dog at the top of this thing there. Because one of the questions I would get all the time for someone who's maybe a little bit newer at this and still learning, they go, Apex, what's that? Who makes that? And it's just kind of nice that it's just more in your face. Now, a very easy to overlook feature on a single axle RV is when they have dual propane tanks with an auto changeover regulator. A lot of them do not. Also, note that you have front and rear stabilizers to keep this thing from making you seasick when you get to your campsite. Again, when we're on a single axle RV, double propane tanks and corner stab jacks, those are often things that are left out and omitted, you know. The tinted window package, for instance, they put the biggest power awning on it they could. It's not giant massive, obviously, but they did what they could. Again, the griddle is included with these, and I think that if you're not going to do a really good camp kitchen, just giving me a fair way to apply an outside cooker is actually not a bad thing. They've stuck with things like, the little bit bigger entry handles, the anti-slam entry door, but one of the more recent updates this year is they have gone to a tankless on-demand water heater. So you can take, back-to-back hot showers in this thing if you need to, and it's not going to be a problem. These have also had a walkable roof for a long time, but a lot of people never realize that because they gave you absolutely no ladder access or prep. They have at least included a little telescopic ladder prep there now, so you can get on Amazon or contact one of our stores and we can assist you with that sort of stuff. Now, when you get into the single axle Apex Nanos, the underbelly is not enclosed because the holding tanks are bigger than the chassis frame rails. They literally can't enclose the sucker. Just for education's sake, when you get over here to the tandem axle Apex Nanos, the underbelly is enclosed. However, I don't know if that sounded clear. When you're in the tandem axle Apexes, the underbelly is in fact enclosed. Saying is enclosed sounds like isn't closed. All right, now that I've sufficiently confused everyone, regardless, when you are in an Apex Nano model, holding tank heat pads, those are an available option that you can get applied. And keep in mind, this is just one floor plan they make out of their entire catalog. If you like the features you're looking at here, but you're like, I don't like single axles, I prefer tandem axles, maybe take a look at this one. This is the 213. I'm gonna go see if I can get some footage of that one next for you. Although this one's coming out first, so keep in mind I may not have it out yet. That'll change over time. I will also leave you links in the video description where you can check for pricing and availability, and leave me some notes, let me know what you think about it. So until next time, thanks again for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.